Hey, bitch. Now it looks like Martell is done with this apology tour and he's ready to get his family back. Meanwhile, Melody is like, honey, you can think again. Let's get into it. So Martell Holt got the opportunity to have a sit down with Rolling Out's Crystal Jordan. Okay, she titles her article saying Martell Holt wants his family back, admits having second thoughts about divorce. Of course he's having second thoughts about the divorce because Martell never wanted the divorce to begin with. Okay, let's be very clear about that. Martell wanted to continue to be with his wife and he wanted to continue to be with his side chick as well. Martell wanted to continue to do his thing, period. That's what he wanted. He wanted to be out here running the streets, honey, and Mel not know or not care too much about what was going on. So, girl, that's what Martell wanted. But now, I guess he's looking at the fact that it was cheaper to keep her. So, he's at a place where he's like, girl, I want my family back. But once again, he never wanted the divorce to begin with. Melody, okay, decided that she finna step her game up, she finna level up, and she finna move on with her life. But let's get into this article, right? So Crystal asked, do you realize how hurt your wife had to be dealing with your infidelity being broadcast on a national platform? Okay, Martell goes on to say, at first I didn't understand why she chose to make certain things public. I learned that when emotions are involved, people aren't always in control of their feelings. My intent wasn't to hurt my wife, but it wasn't all my fault. There were things on both sides of the marriage that weren't right, but people don't see the other side. They just see what happened on my side, and I get blamed. Don't get me wrong. I don't want supporters of what I did wrong. I'm just saying there are two sides to every story. Now, Martell, I felt like you could have took the opportunity to really apologize to your wife in this moment, and you did not. And I also think that you could have took the opportunity to take on some accountability, which you also did not. Crystal asked you a clear question, okay, saying, do you realize how you hurt your wife? Crystal asked you a clear question, okay, asking, do you realize how hurt your wife had to be dealing with your infidelity being broadcast on a national platform? You said, at first I didn't understand why she chose to make certain things public. What kind of answer is that to the question? What we asking you, sir, is do you realize how hurt your wife had to be, okay? To be embarrassed in a way that she was embarrassed, okay? You should have just answered the question the best way you knew how without going around the accountability. He could have said, I completely embarrassed my wife. Those were not my intentions to take it this far. Whatever, you know, I was completely out of character as a man with 3 small children, young ladies that are going to, or not 3, 4 now at this time, 4 young ladies that are going to grow up, and they're 3 young ladies, sorry, I keep saying that wrong, 4 children, 3 girls, and 1 boy, okay? A boy that has to grow up and be a man to another woman, and these 3 girls that have to grow up and seek out a great man for themselves, hopefully unlike their father and their grandfather. Okay, so I think that he could have took the opportunity to condemn his actions, to apologize to his wife and to his motherfucking children and try to be a better man, you know, but what's done is done. So for him to even, I don't understand why she chose to make certain things public. First of all, when y'all went to go and sign off on this of being executive producers or presenting something to Carlos King, y'all already knew, okay, Carlos not gonna hold back. Carlos makes great TV. So what comes with making great TV? Sharing your life with the world. So you knew that it was going to come out, whether Melody brought it public or not. Okay, you was just wrong, and that's just what that is. And I just need you to be a man, unlike any other time that you've been one, and just keep it real. Okay. And he's up here talking about, oh, you know, when I do certain things or when certain things are said, I'm made to look bad. This is why you're made to look bad, because you don't like to acknowledge the SHI that you do and that you sit in. Even when you went over to Marcel and to Tisha, okay, just to talk to them, you wanted to put this shit off on your wife. And then you want to sit up here and say that you will want your marriage back? What the? You just sat up here and tried to play your wife on the whole TV. And Miss Side Chick Girl, I hope you're paying attention to this, honey. I hope you're paying attention. He done called you a peasant, yet you still over there just hanging on. Okay, and now he over here trying to make it seem like his wife is the reason for X, Y, and Z. And you still probably over here trying to hang on, baby. It's not going to get no better for you. And if this man happens to truly divorce this woman, then my dearie girl, I do not see him marrying you because you were content in the position that you were in. So why would he level you up? Okay? And if he did level you up, please understand that it's only to piss off the woman that he really wants, which is his wife, soon to be ex-wife. Let's be very clear about that. But girl, y'all just continue to ride the wave, honey. Okay, so we're gonna move on, right? So then the next question that's asked: do you think as a husband and provider you have to take responsibility for not dealing with marital issues and stepping outside the marriage? Martell says that's fair. I can agree to that. Cheating is never the way to handle issues in a marriage. I feel like yet again there was another spot for him to take on responsibility for his actions and the things that he went wrong, and maybe even highlight some of the things that he did wrong, but he didn't, and not just when I say things he did wrong as far as the cheating, but just like in the marriage as a whole, because he likes to point out what it is that Melody has done wrong. Oh, she wasn't giving me sex enough or whatever. She wasn't like this or like that, all this other stuff. Okay, I don't like one-sided relationships where it's always you. Well, what did you do? Okay, a lot of times it's cause and effect or whatever, where, okay, you treating her like this and she's gonna respond like this. So I'm like, what about what it is that you've done? Because he's also quick to try and, like I said, call her out for, oh, she's not giving me enough sex, and she wasn't like this and she wasn't like that. Sir, you cheated on this woman for 5 years. At this point, it was something that you wanted and you chose to do. I refuse to believe that she was that terrible of a wife for you, terrible wife to you for 5 years, and you just was like that made no sense. At some point, you would have just divorced. Okay, so I just believe that he was messing with side chick because that's just what he wanted to do. He's not going to take any accountability or responsibility for that, and it's just what it is, so let's move on. Now, Martell is also asked, do you believe there is any chance for a reconciliation with your wife? He says, you never know what the future holds. It's been hard adjusting, but Melody and I are co-parenting well. Still, there are so many things I miss, like waking up in the morning by the kids, running into our room, doing things together as a family unit. I miss that. There's been so much negativity between Mel and I that it probably wouldn't work. But yes, I would want my family back. Okay, so I think Martell is hoping for time to run its course. I don't know if he's going to fully 100% divorce Melody. I could see him continuing to stall the process out by adding frivolous things to the suit that he knows she's not going to go along with, so that they can have back and forth, so he can continue to be her husband and to show her that, hey, remember this, remember that, try to get back in her good graces. Because the short answer in all of this is that he is going to want his family back. I think he also liked the image that he had, married to his kid's mother in the household. They have a successful business and all this other stuff. So I think he liked the image that they also brought about, and because Melody is familiar. He was with her since I believe they were in college or whatever. So I think short answer, he is definitely going to want his family back, and that he is, in my opinion, I'm not sure, I feel like he's probably going to stall that divorce for as long as he can in hopes of them probably getting back together. But let's move on to Miss Melody Holt, because Melody actually ended up doing an interview with Madame Noir, and I hope I said that right. In this interview, she was asked a few questions as well, and we're going to talk about those. I'm not going to cover all of the questions. If you guys want to see that interview, definitely go over to Madame Noir and check it out. But I'm just going to pull out some things that stuck out to me, just so that I can talk about those. Melody is asked, how do you feel about everything being on television? Do you feel like this is just a part of your story, or do you wish this wasn't happening on TV? Melody responds, oh, I absolutely wish it wasn't happening on TV. If anyone had asked me when we pitched this show, would I have thought I would be going through a divorce? My answer would be no. And if they asked me if I would be going through a divorce on national television, it would be hell no. I had no thought, idea, or preconceived notion that this is where I would be and that it would play out on television. I believe it. You know what I'm saying? I definitely believe it. I do think that, these things were going to come out on TV. I think she probably could have known, and she wasn't so small-minded like Martell to be like, yeah, we probably are going to talk about the side chick. These are things in our marriage, like if we agree to sign on and do this show, reality-wise, we have to be completely open with our lives, and we're at that place, I'm at that place, I could do that. But I think it was just the things that happened after the fact, with her getting pregnant and things, and him not fixing his relationship and working on, what I'm saying, like really actively showing her that he's trying to be there with the family. Like she mentioned on last week's episode, the fact that we're in a whole, pandemic. And, you going out, you hanging out with whoever you hanging out with, you coming home late at night. It's like, sir, what are you really doing out here in these streets? What's really going on? Okay, you could be bringing viruses and everything back to my kids. What's happening? So yeah, I feel Melody on that. Like, if it wasn't enough for if your family wasn't enough for you to stay in this house and get it right after being exposed on TV, then what? If the pandemic isn't enough to make you sit at home, be at home, and become closer with your family, then what? So I think things just, they just shifted for her. It was already it was terrible. Right? But I think he had been trying a little bit, but she wasn't fully there either. She wasn't 100% all the way there herself. She was still on edge. And with the pandemic happening, everything shutting down, and he's still finding ways to be out so late and probably not even communicating in the fashion in which he should, it probably sent her right back down that road. And she probably got to a breaking point, yo, do you want to continue to sit in this for another 5 years, or do you want to go out and just live your life and do your thing? So, yeah, I don't think she definitely expected it to play out on TV as much as it did, especially the divorce, because it's about to be here. But y'all leave y'all thoughts below on that. Melody is asked, some of your castmates felt that the only reason you were getting a divorce was because other people were privy to the details of your marriage. Is that the case? Melody says, I think that was one of the most absurd things I ever heard. To be honest with you, there have been more people rooting for us than not, okay? Let's make that clear. More people have been Team Holt, Team Martell, and Melody for a while. More positive things in my DMs than anything. The reason I made the decision to leave and walk away, and this would have been if the spotlight had been on us or not, is because I do believe in grace and mercy. I do believe in giving people chances and opportunities. However, okay, at some point, there are no more chances. That breaking point occurs and a woman gets fed up, or man. Let me put it that way. People get fed up. So that kind of went back to the question of Marcel and Tisha pretty much saying that they believe that the only reason she's getting this divorce is because everybody is publicized now. I mean, Huntsville ain't that big. Okay, Huntsville ain't that big. Let's be clear. So it probably was already publicized with the people in the city. Sometimes in your area is enough to be embarrassed by. Okay, so I think she believed in her marriage and believed that they were going to get through it or whatever. And she probably just came to a different space in her life. It was just I don't have to deal with this. A lot of women do that. A lot of women are in relationships for 10 years, terrible, still hanging on. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in a marriage, but I was in a relationship for 7 years, just hanging on. And then after a while, it's like, what the fuck? What's happening? What? Why? Oh, hell no. So you get out. You jump ship, you go about your business. So I feel like the same thing for her. I don't think it really mattered whether she was on national TV or not. When a woman fed up, she just fed up, and she didn't become fed up. It just so happened. The irony is that she was on TV, But okay then, because that's why Marceau be trying to keep Tisha, I feel, her mindset and probably her friendships limited, because any influence she may get, he probably believes Tisha gonna run out on the plug twice or thrice. Okay, for him to say something like that. But okay then. Melody goes on to say, for me, it was one of those situations to where I've given you enough chances. You continue to go against the marriage vows, so I'm out. I want that to be clear, please. If I was listening to what the people want me to do on social media and in my DMs, I'd still be with this man. Melody goes on to say, and let me make this very clear. I've seen or heard people saying the only reason I left is because I found out the side chick had a baby on the way. That's not true. When I left on April 4th, I guess she's referring to 2020, I did not even know about the unexpected child. I didn't find out until May. I left because God said go. Yeah, clear and cut. She did not leave because it had anything to do with the baby. She probably really just sat out and said a prayer, asked for whatever she needed, asked for a specific prayer. If I need to leave, Father, lay it out like X, Y, and Z. This is how I'm gonna know these are clear signs from you. She probably got exactly what she asked for, and next thing you know, she was like, okay, God said go. Let me get on about my business, honey. Let me go jump ship. Let me get up out of here, honey. This ain't got anything to do with me. You will not attach this to my brand any longer. I'm out. Melody is asked about whether she believes Martell really wants full custody of their children. She says no. First of all, the kids are a trigger for me emotionally. If you pay attention to the first part of the episode speaking to my brother, only time I cried was when I was speaking about my children. That's the only time I really get emotional because they're innocent in all of this. And this was filmed months ago. At this point, I've learned not to let things be my trigger. However, at that time, Martell knew they would be a trigger. So for him to say full custody, and this being my first time hearing that, with me knowing that there are times when I've kept them away longer than the 2 weeks I was supposed to have them, because you say I just can't come and get them right now. Do I think Martell wants or even can handle full custody? Absolutely not. I know that because you have the kids and you have to call me every other day thinking I'm supposed to help do this and help do that. No, sir. You are not ready for a full anything, okay? I feel her on that, girl. Melody is also asked about Martell making excuses, not taking on accountability for his actions. She goes on to say Martell is just being Martell. For him, instead of making the decision to do better and do what's right for himself and his family, it's more of a mental issue for him, okay? She said mentally, I'm saying mental issue. Just about how he digests things and then he regurgitates his response. Melody says that she really does appreciate the fact that Mama Holt held him accountable for his actions, held him to the fire as it came to the conversation that they had when they sat down and had one-on-one at the house. She was glad that, you know, she called him out on his BS. Now, I want to go back to the conversation that Melody was having with Madame Noir about the accountability. Finishing up, she says, here's my thing. If I was not doing all these things you're saying, when he tried to allege that, oh, she was messing around, oh, she wasn't giving him enough sex, oh, she was doing this, she was doing that. She said, or if I was not a great wife to you, there's no way you would be doing interviews saying, but that's my soulmate. Maybe in 2 years we could get remarried. Why would you want to remarry someone who wasn't even a good spouse to you? Okay, that doesn't even make sense. If people pay attention and listen, okay, then you can understand that some of the stuff Martell has been saying is BS. It was a deflection mechanism, okay? So I agree with that, you know. So all this little stuff, he's trying to go out here and portray a certain image of Miss Melody, he's wrong for that, okay? It's not lining up for us. It's not making any sense, okay? But at the end of the day, I mean, I would have loved to see them, you know, be able to work it out and move forward, but sometimes you just can't, and I respect that, you know what I'm saying? When it's not my relationship, I respect, like, you know, with my friends, number one, don't really tell me your business. If you could work, like, don't come to me. I can't really help you. That's your relationship. I can tell you some things, but you still gonna do what you want to do. So work on it as best you can. Y'all figure it out together. If you decide that you want to continue to be with him, then I'm gonna rock out, okay? If you decide you want to get the hell out, then I'm gonna rock out. Whichever way you moving, I'm moving. But if it came down to domestic violence, that's where I draw the line, and I'm gonna be on your head like, girl, you got to get the out, okay? So yeah, so I mean, whichever way Melody wants to go, if she wants to go through this divorce, cool. If she decides a year, 2 years from now, she changes her mind, that's her God-given right. You know, I wish both of them the best, Melody as well as Martell, but I want you guys to leave your thoughts and comments below about how you feel about this fiasco between Melody, Martell, and some of the talks that they had during these interviews, okay? I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.